Hey, Zach, thanks for joining me.
Hey, good to see you, Steve.
Hey, good to see you. We recently talked about San Francisco, recently talked about Detroit in completely opposite ways, not the way people would think of San Francisco real estate having a lot of problems. Detroit having a comeback. What's up with that?
It's very telling when you need a firearm to walk around San Francisco and not Detroit these days. It's certainly a flip-flop for sure. Um, Policy, man, it was the same each place. Is one is being strangled by it, the other one is vibrant because of supportive policy. It's
No,
crazy.
I think that's a perfect example. So I think we're seeing that on two fronts. Is one, Detroit actually put forth like subsidies and really incentives to help builders rebuild that downtown, and get it to the place now where you got new skyscrapers, you've got apartments, you got the mixed use kind of environment. We had mentioned that you've now got a Gucci's in Detroit. So at the same time, SF is closing down their Nordstroms, closing down their Macy's, closing down some of their
Detroit's picking
high-end.
it up.
Yeah, like I guess they're just moving over to Detroit.
Who would have thought
But
that San Francisco's trailing Detroit? And by the way, talking about a comeback, I mean, the Detroit Lions forever were a joke. They made the playoffs, they actually win some games, and now you look at it, it's like everyone's flooding back to Detroit and they're proud of them. It's
yeah, well, and
team follows
also
city, city follows team.
yeah, and the San Francisco 49ers actually don't play in San Francisco. They play
That's true. I
they
heard
play in the
Oakland's
South
doing
Bay.
really well. So
Yeah. But yeah, we've got San Francisco. It really seems like still the public policy is anti quality of life. It's still at a place where um the homeless problem, they pour a ton of money on it, and what they seem to do is just somehow manufacture more homeless. The street crime is so out of control. You can't go by the reported data because a lot of it's been knocked down to misdemeanors, so people don't even report it, because
yeah.
nobody's going to do anything about that. So you got to look at like polls and surveys to find out how bad the crime is in San Francisco. But this is, San Francisco is a beautiful place. So much of this is just public policy, and just it seems like a perfect example of how you have politicians pursuing some pretty bad policies in one place, and actually taking a serious stab at trying to revitalize another place. And it makes all the difference for somebody who's owning a retail store or an office or a residential property.
Well, like an NFL team, you got a front office and a head coach that do a bad job, they get fired. How do you know they do a bad job? Well, they're drafting the wrong players. They're following the wrong rules. They're doing the wrong things. You heads roll, you get new people in there, and you watch turnarounds. Same thing here. San Francisco's got a bad front office. They are just not making good calls, and they think that they are doing a really good job. And voters at this point are the ones that got to make the difference. You got to change the policy, change the policy, change the people. Change the people, you can clean up the city. Even very small incremental changes will make a huge difference, and San Francisco will see a huge surge back. I mean, you've got all the money and all the people, and they want a city to go to that they're proud of and they enjoy going down. All you got to do is one domino falls, you change that policy, you change a couple of the people making the rules to be a little bit more supportive, and I think it's game changer.
Yeah, I think you and I would probably both like to see a little bit more out of San Francisco before we felt good about calling a turnaround. But you're right. A lot of this could be just changed with the strike of a pen. So some different policies. It's beautiful real estate. I think the positive there is maybe it's gotten bad enough that they
I
start
just
making.
I just love that Detroit is ahead of San Francisco on a list of top cities. Just that makes me smile. Um, that go Detroit.
Yeah, it's got the momentum right now. So I guess go Detroit. Okay, go Detroit.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Zach. And hey, if you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. And you can visit our website, selectfincap.com, to get on our list for investments to try to benefit some of these positive trends and maybe avoid some of these negative trends. Thanks a lot.
See.